Alright. We have a weird game. I don't really know what's going on. I think it's a 2v2 of Heir of Carthages stream. I was very briefly told what was this about. So I think what happened, I believe, would be, you guys remember the AI tournament a while ago that we've been hoping to do another of recently? I think it was that, but it's like a 2v2, but it's a 4v4 in the end because both the players only take the Lord, and then you have an AI army helping you. So it's two AI armies, two players with just Lords versus the exact same. So it looks like we have Skaven with Queek Headtaker, a shit ton of Storm Vermin. Alright, rank 9 Storm Vermin, that's interesting. And we have a Grey Seer of Plague controlled by the player. Looks like they have all their spells, because why not? You have so much money you should probably be using. And then for the assistant, we have Dark Elves, led by Malekith in the Sky, and Morathi. Not sure which one's the player. I'm going to guess it's Malekith. So the AI should probably possibly have Morathi. Then we have some Shades, Dark Riders with repeated crossbows, some Dark Shards, more Shades. So it looks like the Dark Elf player was just trusting his AI to kite, and the Skaven player was just trusting his Skaven to sprint straight at them. On the other side, we have Malagor the Dark Omen leading a force of Wood Elves. Stranger things have happened, I guess. War Dancers, Way Watchers, War Dancers, Wild Riders. Pretty elite force, just kind of counting on the AI to use their stuff correctly. Drycha and a Branch Wraith as well. Then we have the Lizardmen, led by Lord Mazdamundi. And Tehenuin. I'm guessing the AI has Tehenuin. I'm guessing the player has Lord Mazdamundi with everything. Chameleon Skinks, Saurus, the Pale Death, Feral Troglodyte, a Skink Oracle, Tehenuin, and more Saurus. This is ballsy, trusting the AI to handle a very expensive Dino ROR. We can see already that the Wood Elves are teeing off quite happily into the Skaven forces, doing a lot of damage to them on the advance. Getting some messages that I'll have to deal with after this. I don't really know how to assess this just yet, so there is a Dreaded 13th that came down, did a lot of damage to, it looks like, these Eternal Guard. Now there's more Stormburn with Halberds in there. The Skaven forces are trying to advance while the Dark Elves are just kiting and doing a lot of damage to these Saurus. Looks like the Lizardman AI isn't super sure of what to do with itself right now. It looks like it's trying to half kite, half charge, but Saurus will have a hard time catching Dark Elves. Meanwhile, the Wood Elf force is, looks like, bouncing into their own lines. Maybe they're trying to surround Morathi and Malekith here. Morathi takes a lot of damage there. Maybe she overcasted something? I don't really know. Mazdamundi also got a hit on her. And there's a Storm of Blades going down. You almost never see that spell. Meanwhile, the Skaven take a big hit from a Pendulum on top of their Storm Vermin. And that is quite bad. Ooh, for the Dark Elves, this is getting a little sticky. They have almost lost both of their Lords, who are just down in the middle of this bad fight. Skink Oracle running forward into melee, because the AI is very good at piloting. One of the best kite units in the game, and this is on the patch where the Skink Oracle fights twice. It is on the previous patch. I am working on catching up with replays. I got this. There is just a smattering of death and violence I can't possibly keep track of. Way Watchers, even for the AI, are obstructed. That's kind of funny that the AI wouldn't just retool them. Dark Elf AI is handled very well. It's all just kiting out and doing exceptionally. Malekith is going to break. Where is Morathi? Is she dead? Looks like she's dead. Maybe I missed something. Malagor is going to chase Malekith off the front line. And we can see Mazdamundi tried to cast a Ruination of Cities on 2 Storm Vermin units, but they had unfortunate spread and missed most of the spell. Only the spot where the player actually controlled hit. Everything else just went off into random directions. Blade Guard are still trying to fire in, and right now the battle is dead even, it says. I would favor the Dark Elf Skaven, just because the Dark Elf army is being handled so well, outside of their Lords getting sniped. We can see the Skink Oracle is getting caught, which is a big loss. If he actually breaks, which it looks like he is coming back to the lines, which is very good for him. Pit of Shades does come down. It looks like it's from the Branch Wraith, and she might honestly do more damage to her own troops than the enemy. Ah, there's Morathi. She was still alive. She was just trying to fight all of this by herself. She's down to 21 health and not breaking. What? Alright, she died. Like, I mean, okay, she was breaking, but like -4 leadership for a bit there with 21 health was a little obscene. Grey Seer's still very healthy. The Dark Elf kiting materials are very healthy. The Storm Vermin are getting chewed apart, but whatever. Queek is going to try to fight Lord Mazdamundi. He is currently trying to step up, and then he'll immediately kill a random Saurus instead of Mazdamundi. Classic Queek. Well, Wood Elves are shooting in on all the Storm Vermin. Their backs are turned right now, so this damage is actually going to stick pretty well. There's a lot of kite elements coming in for the Lizardmen as well, but they're very, very tattered from all the Dark Elves. And I think the AI Dark Elves are doing probably the best of the 4 AI armies, as far as I've seen. Grey Seer of Plague is trying to help fight Lord Mazdamundi, but man, Queek's in there and he's doing it. He's doing it for the memes. He's fighting Lord Mazdamundi, who might actually break as soon as that Cold-Blooded wears off, or even sooner if he gets focused anymore. Dark Elf's still firing in, and Forces of the Lizardmen and the Wood Elves are looking pretty thin. Gonna hit fast forward here as I believe the inevitable conclusion comes of Queek just slapping everything to death. Alright, so it was Hammond and Heir of Carthage was the other Dark Elf player versus Disciple of Ares and Short-Ended Straw. Malekith got 1,200 value, Grey Seer got 1,800, Mazdamundi got almost 4,000, and Malagor got 2,500. But I think their armies were a little too big brain smart plays for the dum-dum AI to handle. Especially that Skink Oracle. It got 2,700 value, but it still ran off to its death like an idiot. The Pale Death got about 2,000 value, though, so maybe I shouldn't be that critical. Marathi got 2,500-ish value. Shades did great. All the Dark Elf units did great. They were pretty healthy. And Queek himself got 2,300, wow, 2,400 value from fighting Mazdamundi there for a bit. And Storm Vermin struggled to pay for themselves. Some did, some didn't. Weird times. Weird times indeed.